Hello, welcome back. So I was about to start working on these stairs. So you can see I've put in a little bit here. So the front of this building, the facade is fine to go and transfer. It's flat, but the stairs are not dimensioned properly. I mean, if we really wanted to get into the details, a lot of these pieces of this house would come forward. It's not completely flat. So you can make decisions about how much you really want to move things forward. But so when you do that, you want to look at the plane that it's going to sit on. So these stairs, the risers are sitting on the blue plane, right? Now it looks like it's off because the angle is for down here when I move it. And then the flat parts are the floor, which is green. So notice when I click here, it's green. We've got to go now. I'm going to build a riser. So to build a riser, I'm on the blue. And in some ways, we do a lot of copying and pasting. So if I copy this and paste it, whoops, just copied a line there. Use the right arrow, copy, paste. You know, when I did this originally, I just copied and pasted, but that doesn't work in this situation. So when we're building, again, in the three-dimensional, I will go to select the perspective selection tool and grab the box, come over here, and as I draw, it's automatically giving the perspective for that portion, for the riser there. And then to do the other portion, I click again on the green. I want to get my color change over here, so I'm going to grab, actually see that same color here, I'll have to use the eyedropper later. And then go and take the square again and drag the square here. I have to move it up here. Let me redraw that. It didn't catch in the right spot. So I am going to click from here over, make it a little more narrow. There we go. And then I would switch back to the blue, grab this other color there. So I just keep building the stairs. So I need to get this, let me just select this stair so I get the right color over here. And then draw. I've got it, I need to get the ground, so I'm on the green. Sorry, I'm distracting myself. And I'm going to pull from this corner. It's easier for me to pull from this one. And there's another stair. So I just keep building the stairs that way. And then this one that I have the wrong color, I can go and click on that and use the eyedropper to get the right color. Okay, so now I had drawn here two different planes for the wall here, right? So let me make this a different color. So we've got the cement that comes out, not cement, the limestone. So to draw this shape here, this is a funny angle. It's an angle on top of an angle. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start by making the riser part. So I am going to have that on the blue wall, and I am going to drag from this corner to this corner to build that front part. And you see when I did this drawing here, I didn't get that angle right because this was more of a angle that I was guessing. So I'm going to pull this down. Actually, looking at the way I've got the stairs here, it looks like it needs to be higher, which means this one also needs to be higher. So I was just guessing on those before, but this one is actually drawn in with the perspective tool. So there, so that one is correct. So now to do this piece right here, it's not necessarily the flat ground level and it's not the riser level. So this is a situation where I can just actually go and draw in a shape. So I could either take this square, a rectangle, it's not a square, sorry, and using typical tools, move this around to get it in the right spot. Or I could have drawn that shape, and then I just changed the color there. So I'm building these stairs out. So I need to get it worked out. I probably need to make the risers a little even and get the depth going here and the side wall there so that it matches. Okay, so that's how you use this to build out. So I could, if I wanted to create this piece of work here, I could go and selecting it, delete that. And then I could go and thinking about it as the blue panel here, I could go and drag it out a little bit further. And then the piece that would be even with the orange side here, so I would go to the orange, and then I would pull, just randomly pulling these colors. And so on this wall, I would drag the piece that goes here, which doesn't seem to be working right now. Let me see. Let me check, make sure I've got this, and then grab this shape. I guess that is the perspective. That's not working. I'm gonna double check that. But it worked there. So if I click over here, grab the square, and draw on this plane. Yes, it is drawing. See when I drag that down there? So it's funny, it's right on the perspective point where it actually doesn't look like it's making a difference, because here's our straight line between the 2 point perspectives. So see right there? So it looks like it's straight because that is our straight line between the both 2 point perspective. So I can go and put this, think about what depth I want it to be, and then align this figure out what size I want that to be. Pull this down and change it to a different color. I'll figure, make it that, and then I will make this the lighter color to get that contrast there. Okay, so you can see how I built that out, even though it doesn't look like it because of where I selected it to go. Okay, so you'll be making decisions about how much to pull or add or put into there, but you can see how you start with your flat pieces and then just start to pull them out. Actually, looking at this, you know, this wall right here, in reality, it's probably more like a mansard roof. So I could go in, and I'm just guessing here because it's an angle on an angle in a sense. I could move this in and play with making that look like a mansard roof. If you guys know what a mansard roof is, it comes at you from several different points. So this would come in here, and this one would go and meet that point. So it's like a hip roof, I guess, but it's got curves to it generally. So I should make it a hip roof and not a mansard roof. Mansard has that curve to it, which probably would be the actual way this would be drawn, but that'd be too much work. I want you guys to go crazy with the details to this. Okay, so then I'm going to clean up some of these places. This was drawn in multiple pieces, so I'm going to clean that up and pull those pieces together and just keep building up in this. Okay, so I'm just going to jump in here to show you a few more things. So I was working on my roof here, so I was playing around with just making it up because, again, it's a slanted roof. But then this was a flat, and so I put in the back of the side of this because that wall, this building should have been higher. Originally it was a little shorter, so I pulled it up, and noticing that it's 4 stories instead of 3 stories. Well, actually, it is the same, but anyway, it should be bigger. So I pulled that up, added this shape here. You know, you can see it's turned to the blue. I added that in behind there and sent it to back. So building all of that up. But then I took a departure from that. So I have all these trees that I'm playing with, what, stacking them up and what's going in front of and what's going in back. So I'm playing with bringing these to the front, and see the way that's sitting kind of funny on top of that one. So I'm bringing this one to the front. This one can go behind. So just getting those trees to look like they're in the right layers, and or not layers, but layered properly so that they look realistic for shortening. And so with trees, some trees are bigger than others, so I could have a big tree in front of a small tree, but very often you want to sort of set things up so that they are getting smaller as they go back. So these trees that I started to draw here, so I am not using this perspective grid here. I'm just faking it. I'm not going to make these trees all three-dimensional, especially since they're round. But I could take it and, assuming these trees, I picked 3 that would be similar. And no, all trees don't grow exactly the same, but thinking about how the first one would be closer in front, and then the next one would be a little smaller and going back along that sidewalk. And I've made some a little thicker and bigger. And so then this forest here that I have here, let me grab these trees. These trees would be out in the back here and arrange and send to back, because this is a neighborhood park. And my thing is I'm having these solar panels up here, and I'm having a lot of trees to refresh the air, and I will have a wind turbine in here, those sorts of things. So then when you don't want to see your grid, so you would go up to view, and then you go down to perspective grid. So there's all these grids here, but you're going to perspective grid, and you can say hide grid. So then you can go in and see how your little city's looking, okay? So I think that's all I really need to teach you about this. Each of your projects can be a little bit different, but so that you are building parts of it on the grid, and then parts of it, some of you had these great ideas about fountains and all sorts of things that you can just have spilling out from behind these buildings or something up on top. Not everything is necessarily going to be drawn in this perspective, but you can see how it really can build this wall here. Another thing I want to teach you that this is really good about, I'm going to put it on hold and come back in one moment to talk to you about typology.